Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. We are talking niches. So we're talking specifically different real estate niches outside of real estate niches and really the benefit of learning to kind of niche yourself down. I'm joined by Andrea Castinetti. She is a team leader, entrepreneur, broker. She is a successful real estate agent in the Massachusetts area. Not only that, but she also runs a nonprofit business. So Andrea, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Cool. All right, let's dive into niches. I mean, this is an exciting topic. The more people that I talk to, the more they're realizing there's money in niches. Is like, tell us what can people expect?
So I think, the number one thing, and, again, I've been in real estate just only 8 years. I have been a self-employed for 25, but I always say, and no offense to realtors, they're a dime a dozen. Everybody knows 5 realtors, they're everywhere. So what are you doing to set yourself apart from the 100 other realtors that are, within a mile radius of you? So, I think you have to find your passion. When I got into real estate, everyone's like, what's your why? Why do you want to do this? And a lot of my team says, I want to make money. There's a way to get there. I do applaud their honesty.
I was going to say, at least they're being honest about it.
And, the thing is, there's so much money to be made when you do it the right way. So for me, I run a nonprofit. I've always done a lot of charity work. So, when I was selling my last business, I was actually 39 years old when I got into the business. And, it's daunting because people think at 39, you should be established in your career. You're not going to start a whole new career. And I said, you know what? I owned tanning salons and spas before this. And I said, this just isn't for me. What's next? I'm not a 9-to-5er. And someone said, what about real estate? And I had honestly never thought about it. So as I went through the course, I'm like, oh, I can do this. Like, I love talking to people. I love, the hustle and bustle, the buy and the sell and all that. So I said, how can I combine my passions? Sales, which I love, and obviously doing charity work and helping those in need. So I decided I was going to combine the two. I opened my nonprofit when I opened my real estate brokerage. And, our mission at my office is simple. So after every sale, we donate to a local charity in our client's name. So people know when they work with us that, we're not also helping them buy the home of their dreams or sell their home. We're going to donate in their name to a charity of their choice. So, for us, it's just another way that we give back to the community above and beyond all the community events that we do.
And it seems like that, that creates a niche client, right? It creates a type of client that says, hey, I really prefer that some of this goes to a nonprofit. And it becomes, I love the fact that I buy with my real estate agent because they actually care about my community, or they care about the, communities at hand that need the extra help. Now, what sort of, aside from the nonprofit world, or even in the nonprofit world, what sort of niches are you finding? Is it very narrow, or are you finding very wide set of niches?
So, the main thing is finding what your passion is. So many people try to copy like what we do. Oh, we're going to give back to charity. And they do it once or twice and then they never do it again, So, it has to be genuine, and you have to find out, what drives you. I always say with real estate, like I make my living, and with charity work is how I really make my life. So, for me, it's embedded in me, and my agents love it, so I have some people that have one charity that they love, Boys and Girls Club or something dog related. So, for them, they're always trying to find different ways that they can incorporate that. Some have no idea. So they just kind of roll with it and say, this is great. They talk to their clients, and something that reinforced this when I first got into the business. I had a client who unfortunately lost her son in a drinking and driving accident. He was killed by a drunk driver. So, we sat at their kitchen table, and I'll never forget it. And, I said, at the end, I said, just so you know, when you work with us, we donate to a local charity in your name. And, do you have any charities that are near and dear to you? And all of a sudden the wife just burst out crying. And I was like, okay, there's more here. And again, with real estate, you want to know people's stories. You want to find out what's the motivation here. So I think I sat there for probably 2 hours. We cried, we talked, and Mothers Against Drug Driving, which is MAD, is the charity that she chose. And, I donate to this day in their name. So when you're really making real estate more personal, I think that breeds that trust. And then, with that, especially when it's genuine, people are going to say, hey, listen, I trust her. This is what they do. This is what she's done for me. And then they send your name to anyone and everyone they can think of. And that should be your goal as far as referrals.
Yeah. And I like the idea of going for your passion. I think very often, sometimes we sit there and, I was talking on a podcast the other day and I said, oh, this is a cool, niche that not too many people go into is first time investors. Well, if you're not really into investing in real estate, don't do it. Don't say anything because it's a gold mine to go for it. No, no, no. Yes, it's a gold mine. You should go. But if you're not into it, you're not going to host these events with 5 people in the room. I mean, that's what you should expect out of your very first time doing it. And you're going to get discouraged. And if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to keep doing it.
At all.
That's key. I love the idea of passion. I know you're a dog mom. So I know part of, another niche in community I've personally found is that specific dog breeds love to meet with other in the breed.
Yep.
Just let them play to discuss the same things. Like, is that something you also, aside from the nonprofit, is that another one of your niches?
Totally. So I actually did dog rescue for many years. So, we try to get all of our rescue dog moms and dads together and things like that. To spin off what you previously said, that's so true. Someone's like, why don't you do commercial brokerage? Blah, blah, blah. Commercial to me is cold. It's not a passion of mine. So I could go into it and sell all these buildings and do all these things, but I'm not going to look forward to going to work every day. The reason I like residential is because I can make those face-to-face contacts. I can hear people's stories, get to know them on a deeper level. And, as we were talking before we started, trust is so crucial in our business. People know when you're only there to make a commission. So for anyone that's listening, I really, really challenge you to get to know your clients on a deeper level. It is so important. I mean, I've been invited to weddings, birthday parties. I mean, you name it, because, you're not going to be best friends with every client. I mean, let's be realistic here. And, we're all busy, as I say, but you should never be too busy because this is your future if you're really in this for the long run.
Absolutely. And to kind of piggyback on that, give before you take. I think the idea of attending these events sometimes is you're giving your time,
right?
Giving your attention. It's something that was important to your client. Be there.
Right. And people see when you're just there to take. I mean, I've had agents that have worked for me and I've gotten feedback saying, I feel like he or she is only in it for the commission. And I see it. I understand, especially that first year, it's so hard, but you're going to give much more in the beginning than you are going to get. But if you stay the course, you continue to give in the right ways. And it's not just financial, it's your time, it's your energy, it's your motivation. It will pay off exponentially.
Now, do you walk through a specific step-by-step how to find your niche with your agents? And what does that sort of look like?
Yeah, definitely. So I've had some that have been with me from the start. I'm a little bit different because I've owned businesses for so long. About a year and a half into the industry, I worked at a couple of places and I said, you know what, I need to go open my own business. So, here, technically you have to be an agent for 3 years to go be a broker and do all those things. And I was only a year and a half in. So I just said, I'm going to take that chance. I'm going to make this leap and find a broker of record and just go do my thing. And, thank goodness I did. So a lot of the people were with me from the beginning. So they saw, us growing from nothing, basically. But the new agents that come in, I sit them down and I say, what makes you tick besides just, this being your business or your career? And then, once we dig a little bit deeper, I find out what their outside passions are so that we can incorporate it, with their day-to-day life as far as real estate goes.
Yeah. Okay. Run that exercise with me. All right. Go ahead. Ask me the questions. What sort of things are you asking your team members in particular to find those little niches, those things? Are there some of those questions? Go for it.
Yeah. So basically I always ask about like their background. Are you married? Do you have kids? Do you have dogs? What did you do before this? And, if they've been in the business for a while or, a business for a while, I try to find out what they liked, what they didn't like. So, for you, like, what have you done before, before this career?
Sure. So I actually worked in different marketing roles, whether it was marketing consulting or in data.
Okay. And what gets you out of bed in the morning?
What gets me out of bed in the morning is actually, I'm a very big self-starter. So I'm the kind of person that says, hey, I'm going to go, go, go. But I think the drive to to own my own business is kind of what gets me up and running.
I love that. So, as you know, just because my name's on the door does not mean that this is not your own business. Everything that you are doing right now is your own business. The name on the door is just a catalyst to spinning off what I do. So what are you prepared to bring to this real estate business day in and day out?
Sure. So I'm ready to bring my confidence. I'm ready to bring my energy, and I've got a thirst for sales.
I love it. You're hired. Number one. We love self-starters. This business is, you don't have a boss standing over you day in and day out saying, do this, do that. You have to be a self-starter. So then I would get into, what are your hobbies? What do you do on your off days and things like that? Do you have any kids?
So I don't have kids, and some of my hobbies is I do play hockey. I adopted a puppy, so I do have a little Samoyed puppy, very hard to find here in Florida.
Yep.
I enjoy fishing, surfing, all these cool activities for sure.
Love it. So you're an outdoorsman.
Mm-hmm.
So then I would spin off of that, basically saying, like, we love to sponsor local events. Why don't we put in a dog adoption event? Why don't we figure out how, we can get our name on this? But again, obviously for the greater good of getting all these puppies out of shelters and things like that. So, we do that stuff all the time. We partner with local rescues, or local shelters as well. We find out what they need. So we have a rescue league the next town over, and they're always in need of something every month. So we say, hey, they need dog beds. Who wants to adopt a dog bed? So basically we look at the price. If it's $30, then we make a big, poster, and we use social media like crazy and say, who wants to adopt a dog? But it's really the bed. So $30, we'll buy you a bed, and then my team goes, we put it together, and we make a big day out of it.
That's awesome.
So it's just
on your team now. Because
you're in.
you've listened, you've taken, the time to listen to my hobbies, my interests, and have said, we can partner with you.
Right.
That's very key, because again, it's my business.
Exactly.
I own this thing. You're like, no, you're right. You do own this thing.
Right.
I'm partnering with you.
Right.
We're going to make it successful.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of agents don't understand, because sometimes when they're new, if they've never owned a business before, they think, oh, I work for so-and-so. But at the end of the day, it is your name and your face partnering with the brokerage that you work for. So when you can really have a true partnership, if you have a good broker, good owner, good manager, and you bring proposals to them, and that's what I say to my team all the time, bring me opportunities. You want me to sponsor your kids' Little League? Great. Our names are on their shirts. We'll promote them like crazy. It's, being visible in the community is so crucial, so that you're not just another face in the crowd.
Oh, my community is huge. I completely agree. There's so many opportunities. You mentioned Little League. I remember growing up and my dad being in real estate. He knew every parent on that team. When I played hockey. So a little bit different, but I know a lot of our listeners and everybody that's on this call can really kind of resonate with that. There's something in your community you can join. So what are some of those, we mentioned sports, and we mentioned puppy shelters and helping out in local dog rescue events. What are some other sort of community-based activities that you found to be very successful?
Yeah, definitely. So the newest, and this is in Massachusetts, I'm not saying, every state is similar, but the community refrigerators is really big. Food insecurity, I'm sure everywhere is a huge issue, especially where we're at in the economy. So as far as food insecurity goes here we have tons of, they call it a community refrigerator, where the people in the community come and fill these refrigerators, freezers, and pantries for anyone in the community to come take advantage of. So my team and I will basically do some fundraisers, or we'll all go out with our own money. We all go shopping together as a team, because people see us doing team events, and then we go fill all these refrigerators, just as a day out of the office and something to do together.
I love that. I love that you and your team are completely about others. It's very refreshing. It's very unique. And I think that that's what resonates most. It makes this conversation very approachable, first of all. But I like that we've gone through this exercise. You've asked me the questions. Anybody listening, make sure that you go through the questions yourself. Put yourself in my shoes. You can literally pause on every question that Andrea asks, and then answer them how you would. Don't answer them how I do, because you're a completely different person. You have different passions. And now, okay, once somebody is in their niche, how do they grow themselves to getting more business through their niche? What have you seen to be the best and most successful?
Yeah, a couple things. 99.99% of people are on social media. So don't be that agent that is constantly throwing up real estate on people.
Mm,
Every post on your social media should not be real estate related. I know that might be anti what your broker or someone says. Again, I'm not saying I'm the end all be all, but we always know those agents that are just constantly posting the same thing. And I say this at every one of my team meetings, trust is so important. So as you see on my Instagram and things like that, you're not going to see a lot of branded anything. You're going to see some real estate stuff. The most you're going to see is my daily life. My dogs are my kids. You're going to see the charity stuff that we do, any fundraisers, raffles, all that stuff, because people are going to get to know me in a different level. They're going to get to know me as Andrea Castinetti, not just Andrea Castinetti of Castinetti Realty Group. If I put up a, Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah or whatever, it's not going to have my logo in the bottom.
Hmm.
I'm going to genuinely build relationships with people. And then when they feel that need, that they want to trust me or reach out for questions, then I'm going to answer those questions for them. You can promote your business completely differently than just constantly talking about the same thing, and constantly talking about real estate. You got to build your trust aside of all of that. The business will come.
I totally agree. Are you seeing, so what's your ratios look like? 3-to-1 or 10-to-1? What's sort of the ratio of personal post to, throwing a business post in there?
Well, okay. So another thing too. So, I do have this too, because this is another concern of some of my agents. I don't want to post too much on social media. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. So, I'll take the reins in that. No problem. If my team is doing something community oriented, I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to tag all of them and I'll do it for you. So as far as that goes, I'm probably 10-to-1,
Okay.
10 dog post videos, fundraisers, all that stuff to, a real estate post, here or there.
Everyone, I have to say that is probably the better ratio because of the fact that it gets you more personal.
Right.
And if you're thinking of things to post, look, one of my favorite things, and it's actually part of some of the niches. Look, you're an entrepreneur. Go talk to other business owners, video with them. Don't promote you, promote them and talk to them. Oh my gosh, I am finding agents that do this have been getting success because that person already feels really like encouraged, right? Their day has been made because you took the time out to go to their restaurant, their tile company, their local granite company, whatever it is that you're friends with. You took the time to go promote them on your social. Now they're resharing that and they're putting that out to their network. And now you're getting this exponential growth and you're not talking about you. It's strictly about them, but they're seeing you. And I think personal branding that you're kind of emphasizing.
I cannot stress that enough. So we still do this 8 years in. So when I first started, I've been a small business owner for 25 years. I know the challenges. I know how hard it is. I get it. Everything's expensive. I want to do a newspaper ad and it's, $2,000 and not everybody has that. So you know what I did? I grabbed my iPad at the time. I bought a little tripod and I said, what local businesses want me to come interview you to learn more about you and your business? So I would sit with these people. I'd say, hi, everybody. I'm Andrea, with Castinetti Realty. We're here today with so-and-so. So not only does that make a world of difference to the business owner that you're going to, because now they're going to spin off your network. Everyone's networks are going to grow. But I didn't sit there talking about myself the whole time. I talked about each and every business. I can't tell you how many people to this day still use me and still talk about the fact that I've taken the time out of my day to go drive to wherever to promote them that indirectly promotes you.
Mm-hmm.
And I see these happen a lot, but all I see is the person with all their clothes and their this, it's not about you with this. You really genuinely need to focus on this business that you are trying to interview and get the word out. And business owners love that stuff. Love it. Social media is free. Use it the right way. And I'm telling you, just keep building your network. And you will be shocked at what you do, but it has to be consistent.
Mm-hmm. And it establishes you as the local expert.
Right.
I think also, and if you really want to wow somebody, put it on YouTube. That lasts forever. It doesn't, social media goes away after about like 48 hours, really. But if you put that on YouTube, it stays.
Totally.
And they are honored by people doing that. Again, another way that they're able to promote, and they'll usually reshare that on a regular basis. It's content. It never leaves.
Right. And you tag your business page, you tag them, you tag your teammates. I mean, when I tag 30 of my agents, we're getting out to 30 new networks. And think of the thousands of people. I mean, I have however many followers, think of how many people times 30 just with my team that we're getting our faces in front of.
Mm.
And, if you're thinking, what else do? I don't want to go do a podcast. If you feel comfortable to do a podcast, bring people in, bring local nonprofits, bring business owners, bring, anything related to your industry and beyond. Don't be so fixated on just being in the real estate industry.
Mhm.
There's a world of business owners out there that want that time, that effort. And, they'll make the time and effort for you.
Mhm. And I think additionally, other agents see you giving.
Right.
And when they see you giving, they understand that that's the kind of person that they would like to refer their business over to.
Exactly.
Going to take care of the person that's moving to your town. I love that. Absolutely. Now, all right, here's the fun one. Top 10 favorite niches.
Oh boy. Okay. So, I mean,
Spot.
well, so my number one favorite, obviously, is the charity component. I mean, I just think, when people give back, and again, I'm not a millionaire. I don't give millions every year. I give my time, number one. And, the biggest thing with charity is so many people want to give. They just don't always know how to give. So everyone always says, I'm so great. I said, no, I'm not so great. I'm the voice to get this whole, I'm the catalyst to all of it. But then we have thousands of people that just want to come along. So, I think, and I'm more than happy to talk more about that, but, I realized over the many, many years of doing this, that there are so many amazing people that definitely want to give and want to help. They just don't know where to start. Anybody can write a check, but the reason I do events and things like that, so people can see exactly where their money is going.
Mhm.
One of our things, we do backpack drives. So for the homeless, we collect thousands of items, thousands of backpacks. We bring all the community together. They're filling these backpacks with their hands, and they're seeing the people come and pick them up. So,
Mm.
I think being tangible like that and seeing that, really makes a world of difference, and the community comes together.
Mhm.
So some more niches, I mean, again, when I first started, I did rentals like crazy. The one thing I hear is, I don't do rentals. Who has time for that? Let me tell you something. I built an amazing business off of doing rentals when no one else would do them.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's time, it's effort, but it's quick money. And then renters, eventually, if you keep in touch with them, will probably turn into a buyer, because it's your job to educate them throughout the process. So, people that say they're too good for rentals or they don't want to do them, you might really want to think about your business, because the market's changing and a ton of people are going to renting, as we were talking about with rates and stuff, instead of buying because they can't. So even though the rental market's high, your job is to bring these people in, educate them as best you can. And that's why we'll go home buyer seminars. Maybe that's something for you.
Mhm.
But you have to be different, because everybody throws a home buyer seminar. No one really goes. So, how do you set yourself apart? You have to make it fun and then sprinkle in all of the home buying stuff that people should know,
Mhm.
because, everybody's done it and 4 people show up.
And you gotta be
Yeah.
passionate about it, still be passionate about it, no matter how many people show up. And I do like the whole idea of going to the rentals. It's a long game. Yes, it can take 2 years, 3 years for that renter to finally purchase, but if you're consistent with them, they're still in your pipeline.
Right. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And if you're in this business for a sprint, you're not going to make it. You have to really have a business plan, that is going to change consistently. Trust me on that. You might come in and sit with your broker and do a business plan. You have to be flexible in this industry. You have to be able to, go with the ebbs and the flows and all that, because I mean, it's always changing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, number 3, what you got?
Oh boy. Okay. So, well, we're okay. You know, some people love commercial. Some people love, that type of impersonal. And I have a ton of commercial broker friends, they don't like the personal with real estate. They don't want to do all that stuff. They want to have this building and run with it. So, commercial is a whole nother niche that, I personally don't do, so I can't speak, so much on it. But I think if that's your thing, you have to be as well versed as you possibly can, in commercial, in anything that you do. So, rentals as well. A lot of people don't do rentals because of the liability.
Mhm.
So be a pro, don't just think they're easy money and you're going to go do this. That's with anything, with land, with new construction, whatever niche you're going to follow, you better make sure you know as much as you can possibly know, and you have to keep educating yourself on it. There is always something to learn in real estate. And if you think you know it all, I'm telling you, you don't. And, 8 years in, it's, I learn something new every day, and
Yeah.
you have to be open to it.
I think number 4 is probably one of my favorites. It's going to be hobbies. Use your
Right.
the things that you are passionate about as is. It's what Andrea and I talked about a little bit at the beginning is your hobby could be learning every little detail about, let's say, a sport. So I'm a hockey player. I
Yep.
start getting to know hockey. There's a whole community built around people that play and watch the sport. It's the
Exactly.
same for, I've seen other agents use bourbon groups. I've seen people use poker groups. Like whatever your passion really is, go for it. A hobby.
Definitely.
Use your
Love
hobbies.
it. By far.
What
Because you also need balance, you
Andrew, what
know,
are your hobbies?
oh boy, I love networking. Besides my dogs, of course, everyone knows that's number one, but I love networking. So I just actually created a networking group. I've never started a networking group, but I said, you know what? Now that we can actually kind of be, in a room together, because COVID definitely screwed up a lot of things. I put it out there on social media. I'm thinking of starting a networking group. Who wants to be a part of it? And I'm telling you, that first meeting, I had no idea. I thought like 5 or 6 people would come, and we'd kind of, I had 37 people crammed in my office. And I was like, oh, wow, like we're onto something here. So, now we're doing not the typical BNI, because 7:30 in the morning is nothing that I want to remotely be a part of. I'm up at 5, but I don't want to go talk to people at 7:30 in the morning. No offense. I don't want to meet every week, and I don't want it to be crazy expensive. So I said, you know what? Let's create our own networking group. Let's do something different, because I always like to do my own thing. So we meet every other Tuesday at 4:30 in the afternoon for drinks and apps. We go to a different local business so we can promote that business as well. And I think we have like 57 people signed up, for a year membership with us for $100. But the value in that, because that's 57 people that we're going to network with, we're going to share referrals with, we're going to learn business tips, business ideas, and get to know one another on a deeper level. And I can guarantee you, when people know you on a deeper level, not just, what they see on social media, I can't tell you the value in that. So start a networking group. So another thing, agents always say, I don't know what I like to do. That's okay. And that's when you get to dig a little deeper, so we're always promoting balance on, in real estate, because, my first couple of years, I literally worked 7 days a week, all day, every day. Some people like to travel, so how do we incorporate travel? I have one agent on my team that has 5 kids. She's heavily involved with the schools. What do we do for the schools? So we just did a big event a couple Sundays ago where we collected tons of backpacks and school supplies for teachers and students in need. So she'll go deliver those to the schools and things like that. So everybody has something. You just need to figure out what exactly that is that you could spin off of. But I do hear it all the time. I don't know what I like to do. Okay, well, are you a car person? Are you do you go to church? When we church bulletins, there's just so many things you can do working with elderly people. I have a woman that's, in senior care, and I have a woman that works for me that runs like an adult daycare. So people like that, as they start to get on later in life, like they may have a property to sell, they may not know what to do. So having someone that you can trust there, because unfortunately, there are people out there that aren't in this business for the right reasons and want to take advantage of elderly people and seniors and people that don't know any better. So finding your niche as far as that goes, these women, I have 2 of them that want to focus on seniors. And when a senior citizen, it kills me to think that anyone could ever take advantage of a senior citizen, but they have that embedded trust right there, and then they guide them through the process. First-time home buyers. Some of my agents only want to help first-time home buyers. So then, you better be a pro in that, in getting them ready, because not everybody's ready to buy a home. So let's put them on a 6-month or 9-month trajectory to get there so that they can purchase. and they need to know everything they should possibly know before making this purchase, because, you know, real estate is the number one way to build wealth. And if you make those mistakes right off the bat, I mean, you know, you're doomed for failure.
Andrea, you threw like 3 niches in that one, one push.
I got a lot to say.
No, that puts us, to the last 2, because I was like, wow, okay, so we've got, that was senior, you got first time home buyers, and then you've got transition. About veterans.
Oh, I just did a huge charity event for the veterans. So, you know, what I suggest for you and for anyone, reach out, you know, do a quick Google search if you don't know these people right off the bat. Find out who runs veteran organizations or organizations for the homeless or for kids and things like that, and find out what you can do for them and what they need. A lot of times people don't take that initiative. I have a friend, his name is Bill Moore. He runs it's called Project New Hope for veterans. So, you know, he and I have built that rapport over the years. And I always say, whatever you need, reach out. And then if he says, hey, we need stuff for a food pantry, then again, we start doing those, you know, we start promoting and start bringing everything as a team, you know, over to him. So you have animal shelters. There's an organization called Sherry's House out here that is for kids with cancer. You need to look and see what charities excite you, what charities you're going to be passionate about, and then reach out and talk to the head. You know, nonprofit organizations always need help and always need money. So the more people they can network with, I mean, you know, you'll be busy for the rest of your life with that.
Glenda, I think on top of that, you also sent in a quick comment saying that your sons are veterans and that you'd love to help. That right there alone is it's a communication piece. It's something that when you go into these communities, and I know, Andrea, you can talk to this a little bit more, when something really is near and dear to your heart, people know that. And it makes it so smooth for you to be able to go into this niche that, yes, Glenda, you can go to veterans and you can ask to do veteran education.
Yep.
Tell your story. I think there's nothing more powerful than telling a story. And why, Glenda, it's something that is very near and dear to you, having sons that are veterans.
And there's actually certain designations and things like that. I have a veteran on my team, and he has a certain designation, and it's right on his business card. And, you know, we donate to golf tournaments and all these different things geared towards veterans. So, I mean, that right there, having 2 sons, and thank you for your service to them. You know, I mean, that right there, that's your passion. That's your why. And again, like you said, when you're passionate about something, and I could talk about charity all day, every day. If you ask me to go talk about certain real estate things related that I have no interest in, I'm going to say 5 words and then be done. But, you know, I mean, I could talk about this and the opportunities and how it opens up so many doors to building your network. You know, and if you guys take anything away from this, it's literally find your passion, you know, and get to know anyone and everyone that you can, and make sure everybody knows your name.
And at some point, does it become where it's no longer work?
No. No. You know, I mean, it's for this, you know, when something comes naturally to you, and that's what gets me out of bed in the morning, you know, it just, that's our day to day, you know, and you know, if something happens in town and someone needs something, like I always get tagged, hey, ask Andrea. Andrea might know, you know, and I'm always being tagged. I mean, some days it's exhausting, to be honest. You know, but I mean, it's to be that go-to and be that resource, and you can do it on a larger scale or a smaller scale. You know, for me, when people get the nerve to actually put their pride aside to ask for help, because again, we know that's the number one reason people don't ask for help, because of their pride and they don't know who or what to ask. You know, once they finally get to that point, there's no way I can say no. So even if I don't have the immediate solution, I'm going to reach out to the army of people that are next to me, and we're going to get this problem solved.
Yeah. Hey, everybody that is on this call, I just opened up the chat. We would love to see what niches that you feel like are a great fit for you, since we've been talking. We like this. This is a great conversation between the 2 of us, but we want to know, hey, because of this, this webinar between Andrea and I'm thinking about going into this niche. We want to hear which ones kind of excite you. What today did we talk about that maybe kind of was like, oh, I never thought about going into this, but now I'm looking at doing it. Please comment in the chat. We would love to see those.
And what's holding you back? You know, fear. I always say to the agents, get out of this little box. So many people are scared to take that little step out of the box because they don't know what to do, and they don't want to fail. Failure is a part of life. If I fail at something, hey, I learned from it. Let's not do this again. What did we learn? And then you move on and you succeed.
I love it. Community fridge came up right away. They loved the idea.
Yep.
I love the chat about exploring the community charities. Very cool. We got seniors. Yes, honestly, seniors is one that hits me. I actually worked in senior living for years, and I have seen the unfortunate side where somebody stayed in their home way too long,
Right.
where an agent sat there and actually is the one who pushed for them to stay because they wanted to make them buy one more home, get one more commission. And in all actuality, they needed to be moved to an assisted living community because they they needed to be moved into memory care, unfortunately. But yes, I personally assisted, seniors definitely. And a great idea, just something that somebody was talking with me about recently. When you're doing seniors, a really cool, way to grow that community is offer to help with computers and technology. You will gain their trust in different ways that doesn't have to be direct. You don't have to go to their house and help them pick up stuff, even though that's great. Offer some assistance with knowledge, technology. Say, hey, we're going to go over how to clean up your device.
Right. And how not to get scammed. Because scams, as we know, are so prevalent. I mean, just teaching them some common scams that are out there, that can save thousands upon thousands of dollars.
Totally agree. And we are getting tons of really good dog. Dog owners. Definitely connect with them. For kids, very social, love food. That my niche is where I'm at. Families needing larger homes, not sure what to do with it to attract them. Okay. So if you were to go for, that's a good question. So let's open that one up. So Nicole's, we're going to talk about your niche. All right. So you said, you have 4 kids, talking about you love food, and you're talking about how maybe families can look at getting bigger homes or growing their home. I think 2 or 3 things. First of all, a good opportunity is to work with a foster care company, because those are families that are continually growing, to know which families are accepting foster care, first of all, and how you can help them get into a larger home, and keeping an eye on the market, different things like that. Andrea, do you have a couple ideas for that too?
Well, I'm actually laughing at the last part of because I get this, Nicole. She said she gets more views on her chicken videos than real estate. And I mean, that's literally the way it is. So how do we combine them? So I mean, what I would do is I would show all of my kids or a bunch of kids, or, find pictures like that where you're at an overgrown, you're outgrowing your house, you're at a kitchen table, a tiny little table with all these kids everywhere, and then make the statement, need a bigger home. How do you get there? There's ways to kind of make a joke of it, or all your kids in the chicken coop and, too big, is your house too small? Things like that, just to make people laugh, because it's true. Kid related, pet related, people are going to watch that much more than they're going to watch you, saying just sold all this stuff. And you got to do videos. So many people are scared to do video and they're shy. You have to start practicing. Everyone sounds stupid according to yourself. No one cares, but people watch video instead of writing this big, long dissertation. No one's reading it. Even my team on our team page, I'll put up a paragraph and I'm like, I know you guys aren't reading this. So I make videos constantly for them. And I don't love seeing myself, I'm like, oh God, my wrinkles, no one cares, you guys. Make the video, let them see your face, let them see your animation. And they're going to feel your energy from that too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Get the kids involved. It's a great idea. And I like the idea, get them all into a small room.
Totally.
And make it, make that your niche is how do you expand? Or, you could even joke about the whole baby making process in between.
Another thing with that too is asking questions, because engagement on social media is going to get more people to see your posts. So ask a question, is your home big enough? Do you need a bigger home? Why? And get people to start talking, because the more that they talk, the more people are going to engage with that as well. And actually a funny thing today, okay, sometimes I fall down that social media rabbit hole. someone had put a post up about something, and this guy is like, muscle weighs more than fat. And I was in the fitness business for 15 years. And I read it and I said, okay, muscle does not weigh more than fat. He's like, yes, it does. I said, no, 5 pounds of anything and 5 pounds of anything are the same. And he wasn't getting it. So then it just made me start thinking. I put up a post. I said, the most frivolous conversation I had today all day was this. What are your thoughts? And I have like, a million comments, and that stuff is what lets people see the different side of you, the funny side of you. It doesn't have to be all business all day, every day, because no one cares. If I said something about open house this weekend, 5 people will like it. Me talking about 5 pounds of fat and 5 pounds of muscle, there's 200 people that have commented on it. So, you have to use social media in some different ways to attract the masses, because the people that were commenting on that, I haven't seen them comment on my social media in, who knows how long. So that shows that they're watching. They might not always tell you they're watching, but when something, strikes a chord with them, they're going to jump in.
Absolutely. Oh, we're getting more. So I'm trying to follow up, guys.
Well, I don't want to move to Texas, but feel free to message me anytime, and I'll give you my insight from Massachusetts.
Oh, cool. Cynthia, great question. Do you have any events related to fitness since you were in the industry?
Yes, I love fitness. So that's actually where I started. I used to own juice bars, teach aerobics, personal train, all that stuff. So if you see like bodybuilding competitions, you can sponsor a table there and give out protein bars, protein shakes, and you can attach your card to it. Having your face be shown at those events. Listen, bodybuilders and fitness people are people too. So, find out what, I'm not going to go give my branded cookies at a fitness show. So, you tailor it to, you can get, protein shaker bottles that are branded to you. Yes. Little things that you can get for short money. One thing I do is jar holders and, like koozies, all that stuff. You can get them cheap online. They have your name. It's stuff people aren't going to throw away, because that's a big thing. People throw away your cards and stuff like that, but stuff like that, like, people love my jar holders. It's hilarious because they're, 12 cents to make, but to this day, everyone's like, where are they? Or lip balm, dumb stuff like that. People love it. So try to get into gyms. I had a girl that just did a home buying seminar at a gym, and it was great. And she gave away all this stuff, fitness related, protein muffins, all that stuff. So, there's literally something you can do at any company, anywhere. You just have to tailor your niche there.
To even kind of piggyback on that, in your area, Cynthia, there is definitely one person that runs a yoga studio. Ask for them to, if you have an office or of an office space, ask for them to hold a yoga session.
Totally.
Over and over, that's a really good way of hosting like a networking event that honestly, unless you're paying for the space, doesn't cost you anything.
Exactly.
Or
right.
You sponsor it and it costs you maybe $100. Right. With all these places that are doing like wine yoga, all these like cool different concepts.
Goat yoga.
Yeah, goat yoga. That's another goat. I've done that. I've actually gone and done goat.
Love it.
Helps. So I think it's cool. It's fun. It's unique. I like the idea. And it gets you, again, back to if that's going to be your niche. If your niche is talking to fitness people or people related to fitness, there are different branches of fitness. We should probably address that. You have your bodybuilders, you have your yogis, you've got everybody who just goes to the gym twice a week. And then you've got the cyclists. There's all these different branches. Figure your favorite one and stick to that one. I will say if you go broad, it's going to hurt you in the end. Because as you just said, like if you sat there and offered protein bars and protein shakes to the yogis, it may not go over nearly as well as the bodybuilder complex.
Exactly. And thank you to the person that said I look young, healthy, and full of positive energy. A positive attitude definitely makes a world of difference. We know this business can be exhausting. The one mistake I do make is a lot of times I try to make it look easy. But, when people sit down with me one-on-one, I give them the good, bad, and the ugly. And there's days you're going to doubt yourself and you say, I remember my first deal fell through and I'm like, nope, this business isn't for me, and then now they fall through. You're like, okay, but a positive attitude really, those are the people that you're going to attract. Think of the people that that are just closed and don't want to help one another. And I worked with many of these people that everyone would walk right by you. You know, I remember sitting in an office when I first got my license. I didn't even know how to write an offer. No one would help me. No broker, no owner, no manager. So, you know, when I opened, I said, you know, my mission is going to be to tell people what I know. Like, I want everyone to be successful. There's no reason we shouldn't. There's so much money out there and so much happiness out there that you know, we can spread. That's what we should be focusing on.
And to honestly, to boost up Andrea here, when I talked and asked her, like, hey, what do you want to like hand out? What kind of promotion would you like to push? She said, I don't. I just want to educate people. And I was like, okay, like, but I gotta have something. So, Andrea, tell us, what is the nonprofit that you run?
Yeah. So that person is from Springfield. So I love it. So they're right near me out here. I'm actually in Shrewsbury, Mass. They'll know, you won't know, but so my nonprofit's called the Kindness Coalition of Massachusetts. And basically my main mission is to bring all of our community together to help the greater good. Kids as well, because, you know, how many times do we see these kids that have no clue about compassion and giving back and all that. So, you know, we make it family friendly. We do events, we do those backpack drives. We're kind of the go-to in the community for anything that might come up. You know, and again, to be successful, you don't have to do all of that. You just do your part, you know, and I always say, do something, and it doesn't have to be financial. You see someone promoting an event, share it. It's free. It takes you 3 seconds. And, you know, you never know, especially with things like dog rescue. I don't need another dog. I mean, my fiance would divorce me before we got married if I got another dog, but I'm going to share it because you never know. I mean, I've gotten so many dogs adopted literally just by sharing. So, you know, I mean, I just think in order to make this world a better place, you know, everybody has to do their part no matter what it is.
Well, I'm going to make sure that we share the link to that. And if you found some value out of this and you've got a little bit of kindness in your heart, throw $1 or $2 definitely towards the foundation, help her foundation out. She's helping all of us out at absolutely no cost. You can also find Andrea on social media on, you know, I think it's Facebook, you're on Instagram.
Yep.
You have a referral in the Massachusetts area, definitely keep her in consideration. She is, again, doing this strictly out of the kindness. She didn't even know I was going to promote her nonprofit whatsoever. She came into this literally thinking that I'm just going to sit here and go, hey, this is, you know, is this just to talk? But I definitely want to make sure that I give back to you and that you get some value out of this, or at least we grow even more awareness about your nonprofit in particular. So
I appreciate it. And, you know, I get value out of it just by talking, you know, and I like to talk to other people and I like to hear people's questions. And, you know, people can message me anytime, you know, on Facebook or Instagram. I try not to do all the other social media outlets because I already have so much ADD that, you know, I would never get anything done. So, you know, feel free to find me on Instagram or Facebook. More than happy to answer questions and tell you what I know and learn from my mistakes.
Andrea, can you quickly share the link in the chat for your nonprofit so that we're getting questions about that? I didn't have it, guys. Again, I didn't plan for that whatsoever. This is totally off the cuff. I'm totally happy to have that. We'll have that also. Everybody, just so you know, this is being recorded as usual. It will be shared on YouTube later. So please feel free to go back, watch it, share it. This is another one of those Showami webinars. Our whole goal is to help you as agents continue to grow. That's why we do this. This is not, we don't get paid to do this. We just do this again for help. If you ever have questions about Showami, visit showami.com to learn more about us.
Love it.
But other than that, thank you, Andrea. And thank you everybody for joining, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks so much. Good luck, everybody.